What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to one of my longtime subscribers for showing love to the channel. Much respect to the brother Larry for the $25 donation via the Cash App. He says, "Keep up the good work, and I support Black Independent." And much respect to Larry, man. He's been subbed to my Too Raw for TV. I believe he's subscribed to Too Raw for Sports. He's been subbed to my Patreon since pretty much the damn beginning. You know what I'm saying? We don't always agree on with everything, you know what I'm saying? But we have common ground. We always try to find commonality, which has always been my philosophy. I don't look for what divides me with my fellow brothers and sisters. I try to look at what we find in common, things that we have in common. Um, and I agree with his philosophy. Those of you who follow me politically know that I do not align myself with the Democratic Party, nor do I align myself, obviously, with the Republican Party. I consider myself an independent. Now, for many years, I did, I guess, consider myself an independent that caucused with the Democrats. But over the years, my eyes have grown much, much wider open, and I see a lot more of how, in my opinion, the Democratic Party uses us, abuses us, misuses us, and we really get nothing in return but tokenism and symbolism. Everyone else gets some sort of reward for their vote, their allegiance, except for us. But that's another video for another time. Much respect to Larry for supporting me. Uh, I really do appreciate it. To anyone that want to donate to this channel, if you choose to, you can do so. The links in the description box below via the PayPal or the Cash App or in the pinned comment in the comment section below. Now, I want to talk about Kamala Harris for a second. She's not in the news or anything in particular, but one thing that stays on my mind is the fact that she stands a really good chance of being the DNC's next nominee. Now, Joe Biden, of course, is the president of the United States, but this year, Joe Biden, I believe, later this year, turns 80. I believe he turns 80 later this year, December. Um, that is a very advanced age for a world leader, in particular, one who does not seem to be, say, somebody like, I'm trying to compare someone who was real sprightly for to be older. He's definitely not a Lionel Hampton. He's not somebody like Bob Hope or George Burns. He's not, a Cicely Tyson, someone who was older but far, far younger in their health and appearance and cognitive abilities than their age. This is a man who has had two major brain aneurysms when he was younger. Uh, so, and he's definitely on the downside. You can just see it. He's not what he once was. Um, so there stands the reason he may only serve one term. Now, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. If the Democrats are really sour on Harris, they may try to persuade Biden to run again. But if his poll numbers are still at this stage, which would be, low 40s, I mean, if he's tired, he doesn't want to run again. I mean, what happens? Do the Democrats do the inevitable, do everything they can to sack Harris and try to anoint someone else? Because I'm trying to think of what other candidate they have right now that's you know popular enough with the by the buys, or I guess I'm trying to say those who are the establishment of the Democratic Party has enough of a national reach or a national uh, potential grassroots campaign to win the nomination. The only guy that really comes to mind is Mike Buttigieg, and I'm not sure if they want Mike Buttigieg to be their nominee for reasons I'm not going to get into in this particular video. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, the 2024 in the convention, the Democrats nominate Kamala Harris as their sacrificial lamb. I personally think that if Donald Trump runs, or if it's not Trump, and let's say it's someone like Ron DeSantis, in particular, I think it was Ron DeSantis, they're going to beat the shit out of this woman because she's tailor made for them. She's tailor made for them in so many ways that I can't even get into, on this channel. Um, she's just tailor made for everything that they want as far as an opponent is concerned. Her temperament would fit right in. If they got into a debate, especially with a guy like Trump, if a guy like Trump got into a debate with Kamala Harris, Kamala doesn't have the greatest poker face. Um, he's going to want her to get upset. He's going to want her to get flustered. He tried to do his best to get Hillary to do that. Hillary was a master politician when it comes to self-control. I don't think Kamala has that. She often wears her emotions visually. She doesn't realize it because she's not a trained politician in that aspect. Also, there's other things, weaknesses. She doesn't really, whatever ethnic group she's supposed to represent changes by the week. One week she's for this group, the other week she's for that group, for this group, for that group, whatever. Um, I just looked at her poll numbers as far as her approval rating, and right now she's around the upper 30s with a disapproval in the 52 to 56% range. So she's grossly unpopular. Um, Now, a guy like Trump has a lot of baggage, but the thing about Kamala, I just don't see her being a candidate in 2024 that's going to rally the African American community, all right, or the black community. I don't see it. I do see perhaps black women coming out, black men not so much, Hispanics not so much, independents not so much. These are groups that the Democrats need to come out in droves to win. Asian Americans, who have been trending more Democratic over the last 20 years. I don't see them coming out. Some of the other communities, other uh, special interest groups may come out, but at the end of the day, I saw a poll recently that has Trump theoretically beating her by 11 points. I don't think that's too far off the mark. I think if they had a head to head matchup, I think Trump probably would beat her by something around 8 percentage points, which, uh, if you consider a Republican doing that to a Democrat in this environment, would constitute an electoral landslide of immense proportions. The only reason why I wouldn't be double digit is because I think California and New York would help to stave off the margins. I do think she would carry New York. I do think she would carry California, but not by the margins that Obama and Hillary and Biden won. I think Trump probably would crack 40% in California if he ran against her. I think Trump would possibly crack, 43, 44% in New York if he ran against her in 2024. In Maryland, I think he could get almost up to 40% if he ran against her. These are some of the most Democratic areas of the country. I wouldn't even be surprised in the District of Columbia if Trump got 18, 19% of the vote in D.C. against her. Now, these sound like low percentage marks, but you got to keep in mind that in many of the states I've just mentioned, Trump barely cracked 30% in New York and California. Trump barely cracks 13% in D.C. So, yeah, I think that he would beat the shit out of her in a national election. I'm certain of it. Um, so things are not really looking up for the Democrats right now, and I think something else is going on, man. I think a lot of people are beginning to recognize some of the token gestures that the Democrats uh, have made toward us. Nothing of substance. And I can't really talk the way I want to talk on here. So if you want to hear me talk more on these type of subjects, please sign up for the Patreon. I'm going to do 2 Patreons today, and you know, so please look forward to that if you're signed up for the Patreon. Tell me what you guys think.